morning from the Hallidale North Coast Touring Park, and this is where I left you yesterday. And so my campsite was over there, and as you can see, it's no longer there. The site is there, the camp isn't. So I'm all packed up, ready to go. I availed myself of the kitchen that they've got here, and had myself some coffee. They made me 3 sandwiches last night, and I only put 2 of them down, and it was a bacon one, so I just saved it for this morning, and that was my breakfast. Even though they serve a full breakfast in the restaurant there, and they were egging me on to go in and take advantage of it. No, I think I've had enough. Anyways, I don't have my microphone on, so I'm trying to get out of the wind here. So plan is to head over to John O'Groats today. Looks like the wind is coming from the northwest, northeast. No, it's coming from the northwest. That's right. So it should push me along quite nicely all the way along the coast. It's only about 50k or so. I'm going to stop in Thurso to see if I can get myself some accommodation. I was looking online. This looks like there's quite a few options, so we'll do that. I just checked the trains this morning, and the route from Thurso to Crawley is like 4 stops and like 14 hours. Apparently, from what I'm reading, all the bike spaces have been booked. So that's a concern. That's a problem. I guess I'm just going to have to try and work through that and see if there's contact the railway and see whether or not I can just get my bike on there anyways, and like I did from Portsmouth to Penzance, and that seemed to work quite well. So, and because it's midweek, again, hopefully it's not going to be too much of an issue. But I have a feeling that the bicycles that are booked on those trains are bicycles from people who have been doing this ride. Anyways, that's the way it goes. I'm going to have to work through it one way or another. But that's the challenge. And yeah. So, and I couldn't book it earlier because I wasn't sure when I was going to be here. So it's kind of a moving target. Anyways, that's the plan. So, yep, heading out to John O'Groats right now. And we will see you out on the road. All right. Cheers.
John O'Groats right there, but that looks kind of like it. And I better be watching for my campsite now, because I'm sure it's here anywhere at any point. But I'll go down to the end and take some pics first. All right. So that's that. I've finished the ride from Land's End to John O'Groats. It took me, thinking, 16 days. Yeah, about 16 days to do. I counted up almost 20 on my cycle meter, but some of those days were getting from Gatwick to Land's End, so they don't count officially. So today's ride was okay. It was certainly lovely to have that tailwind after that brutal headwind yesterday afternoon and evening. So the ride from Melvich was off and on ocean views, but nothing spectacular, except to, it was just good to know that, I was on the North Shore and that I was heading towards John O'Groats. Stopped in Thurso for a coffee and maybe some baked goods. Nothing was open. It's a Sunday. Who knew? The only thing that was open was the Tesco supermarket, and they happened to have a cafe, so I stopped there to grab some supplies and to have a coffee and some Danish, which was really nice. And then I continued on, and then the route continued on sort of away from the ocean for much of the ride, except for one spot in Castletown, where the road comes down to the beach and then comes around, circles in around behind the beach, giving some really lovely views of the rolling waves. And then it cuts back. The route cuts back inland, and then you get to John O'Groats, and it's lovely here. I'm surprised at how built up from a tourist standpoint it is. They've got some really, really nice luxury accommodation. I can't imagine how much it would cost to rent out these places, but they are lovely. Got here around 3 o'clock. First thing I did, of course, is got to the campground, which is right in John O'Groats, like right there, like as part of the town site. Set up camp, had a shower as usual, then went into the I guess all the gift shops and the restaurants and that sort of thing. Had some fish and chips, slightly overpriced, but they are probably one of the more expensive places to have fish and chips in John O'Groats. So I think anybody coming here, unless you want to spend the money, there is a chip truck that is right down by the water that sells fish and chips for probably half price. Anyways, you pay for the experience, and you'll only be here, I hope more than once. When I got here, the first thing I did was, of course, ride up to the John O'Groats plaque and sign, and get my pictures, and got the video riding up to it, signifying the end. Just spent the evening walking around the shops, looking for souvenirs. Grabbed myself a coffee, went out to the end of the pier, walked around, took a bunch of pictures, and that's pretty much it. So done and done. Not exactly anticlimactic, but you know, it's nice to be done. It's nice to be finished. So the plan tomorrow is to ride back to Thurso. Not really looking forward to that ride. There's supposed to be like really strong headwinds, but it's only about, I'd say about 30 kilometers or so. So that should be okay. It should take me probably 2.5 hours or whatever it is. I've got an Airbnb there, so I'll check into there mid-afternoon and maybe try and get some laundry done, charge up some devices, because the next day, early in the morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm catching a train from Thurso, which is the furthest north the train goes here in the UK, all the way down to, well, just past London in the Gatwick area, the Crawley area. Actually, it's called Hayward Heath. That's right. That's my there. My Warm Showers host will pick me up and take me back to their place, and then the plan is to spend a couple of days, the 5th, just kind of getting my act together, boxing the bike, packing everything up, chilling out, and on the 6th I'm hoping to take a bus in the morning into London and see what London has to offer for a day tripper like me. Probably jump on one of those double-decker tour buses. I think that's my experience in other cities has been that, you know, you can walk around aimlessly and kind of figure out what's going on, or you just take one of these buses and they take you for a tour around. You know, they give you the lay of the land, they tell you the history, you see stuff, and it's, you know, do it for a couple of hours and then get off, have a coffee, maybe some lunch, and maybe, if it's possible, walk to a few of the places that I saw along the way that seemed to be more interesting than others. So that's the plan. And then on the early morning of the 7th, my Warm Showers host is going to take me to the airport, and I will fly back to Toronto. And then I will visit some friends and family when I'm there. Well, first of all, when I get to the airport, I'm going to build up my bike. And then I'm going to ride to my brother's place, spend the night there, hopefully. And then the next day, ride down through the city, visiting family and friends along the way, and then continue riding for the next few days home. And as per usual, as I've done the last 4 long rides I've ridden home from the airport. Yeah, so that's the plan. I might video record that trip back. Last year I didn't, because it was kind of anticlimactic, and I don't know, it just didn't feel special. It was just kind of more like a utilitarian thing, so I didn't. I filmed some of it, but you know, my heart wasn't in it. So last thing I wanted to say is I wanted to thank Nigel so much for coming out and offering to join me on this ride. I know it took, he had to do a 9-hour train trip from where he lives down to Penzance, and we rode together until just south of Manchester. When I was looking at the calendar, looking at the clock, thinking I really need to put in some longer days if I'm going to catch up and actually be able to finish this ride in a reasonable time, so that I don't have to stress out and go nuts trying to get back and do everything in a hurry. And I was able to do it. So Nigel, initially the plan was that he would continue along as well, and hopefully if I caught up, I would be able to wait for him, and then we would be able to finish the ride together, but that didn't happen. But he kept in touch with me along the way and helped me out whenever he could in terms of finding restaurants and campsites and that sort of thing. So just hats off to Nigel. Thank you so much for being there for the ride that we did together. I really appreciate it and had a lot of fun. You're always fun to be with, buddy. And that's that. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and I'm going to finish my Facebook post and look at some pictures, and that's it. And then I'm done. And then I'm going to be done for the night, and hopefully this wind won't be too windy this evening because this tent is flapping around quite a bit. If this is as bad as it gets, then it should be okay. But if it gets any worse, then I don't know. We're gonna have a flap fest here. Anyways, that's that. So we will see you down the road, wherever. Maybe in London, I'll get some shots. Maybe I don't know. Or this may be the end of the video. Who knows? Anyways, we'll see you later. Thanks for riding along with me. All right. Cheers.